But yeah, you're right. To chime in on a few things that you said, I've always been outspoken because I'm a man that cares about humanity. You understand what I'm saying? As a black man in the United States of America, I'm also aware of what's going on. Of course, it's not isolated, but it is amplified in marginalized communities, and I happen to come from one. As far as hip hop, it goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. So expression of your experience, the highs and the lows, and the fast forward to what you're talking about when it comes to qualified immunity, it's 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 terrible. It's saying do what you want to do, and you will not be held accountable, which goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. So policy, I believe, was in New York. It may have been Arizona or somewhere in Middle America. I think that or a city where they eradicated qualified immunity, but it needs to be nationwide
Right.
because that's in and of accountability. Getting rid of
Right.
that changes the entire landscape.
Yeah, I think it's New Mexico and
Okay.
Colorado. A couple states got rid of qualified immunity. I think New York is getting rid of it or has gotten rid of it as well. Excuse me.
Okay.
Police unions, qualified immunity, internal investigations, and there's there's a community out there, man. It's funny because a lot of us that are involved in police accountability, we call them bootlickers, and these are the ones who just love cops no matter what. They rock and roll with the blue line flag and shit. They put on their trucks. And I'm glad you put the blue line flag on the music video with the other flags, and because it's important to show that's exactly what it is. It's a divide, us against them, and they're the ones that bring that mentality with
Yeah.
the and I believe that they use that back to blue line flags and all that to garner support because there's a lot of people out there that walk around today and they're back to blue, but a lot of us we like to say back to blue till it happens to you.
Have
And
you ever heard anybody going against firefighters? Have you ever
nah,
heard doctors?
for
And
real,
you know what I'm saying? We got law enforcement is rogue. They know it internally. It's a rogue system that you take you take dope you take good people, you put them in good environments, then you use them as examples, right? But you very seldom talk about the ones who are in these communities where the majority of the stuff is happening. You know what I'm saying?
right?
You let them talk about the backgrounds and the qualifications that it takes to become a law to become a cop. How do you view the United States of America? How do you view its citizens? How do you view the people who are not citizens or and that are here? How can you lead to help people if you don't even like the people that you're policing? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If you see me, the first thing as a servant of the people, it should be, how can I help you? Now, I understand in hostile environments, shit is gonna be different. But when you're seeing women, children, people who are clearly unarmed, and then you say, but they can pull a bazooka out of the back of their ear, so I gotta be ready on call and be ready to kill them at the drop of a dime. Come on, man. Go join the military. If that's your
Right.
mentality. If you were in the military, you have to detox, decompress, and understand. Don't bring that mentality to the citizens around here. Occupying these environments and these communities does not stop violence, because if it did, we'd be a crime-free nation, right? We've got the biggest police budget in the world. We've got the most, well, I'm not going to say the most police, but we've got the biggest budget. We've got all the tanks, all the guns and shit like that. And for what? What is it doing? You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm listening to you speak and you're talking about the community, it's essential that people also understand that policing the police is essential.
Right.
Policing the police is essential. When you and I see the police, it shouldn't be oh, am I going to get shot? Am I going to get killed? Am I going to be arrested for breathing out too loud? You know what I'm saying? I love what you're doing, and with the flag, it is divisive because if if the United States of America is red, white, and blue, why would you create a different flag?
Yeah.
And why create this different flag? Why is it so many undertones of aggression? Why is it so many undertones of violence? Why is it so many undertones of disdain for? Why are you mad at the people who represent what you represent have killed? It's really it's a really perverted ideology to say that I'm mad at you for getting mad at me for killing you. It it's mental.
Makes a lot of sense. I talked to pretty much the who is who of policing the police. Since I started, I would say, gained my credibility out there. A lot of folks reach out I've been talking to you behind the scenes and showing you some of the things that people have invited me to be on stage with hip hop artists. It's freaking insane, dude. But I talked to Jason Bassler from Police to Police, the original guy who created that. He also created the Free Thought Project, and Mr. Checkpoint. I talked to him as well. I talked to pretty much a lot of folks who are involved in the policing the police community, CopWatch, First Amendment audits, and I gotta tell you that I've realized that cops don't know the First Amendment of the Constitution, and it's the simplicity of it. It's basically Jason Bassler from Police to Police came down to visit, and he taught me this because I was like, you know, we were born with human rights, and he said, I like to look at it more as natural rights, and I'm like, well, why is that? What's the difference? He says, when you think about, you know, human rights or people's rights, you think about, you know, a coalition. Like, who are these humans and who are these people? When you think about natural rights, you're naturally born with rights. And
Yes, innate.
right. And so the Constitution or all these documents, the Bill of Rights, they were written to limit the scope of authority that public officials have over us. And we're supposed to know and understand when we're out there that we have natural rights, and we're supposed to act like it and treat our public servants like we have the rights and they're working for us. You know that it's important, and we're able to document and record every transaction that we have with every public official. Every government entity is a business. We really don't address and approach government like it's a business and they work for us. But every think about the contracts that we have with government, the DMV, taxes. I don't see much else. So you know, a lot of folks say we have to abide, and then there's this community about traveler versus driver, and you know, they call them sovereign citizens and stuff like that. I'm trying to learn more about that. Then there's voluntarism,
Maybe.
voluntarism versus statism. Whether, like, if you believe we need a government, you're a statist, or if you believe, you know, that we don't need a daddy to tell you where to stand, where to go, what to pay, and how to pay it. You know, and I asked Jason Bassler as well if what, like, help me understand this, bro, because I don't see the world coming to a voluntary state, right? And he says, you know, that dude that he makes these, like, he didn't make these memes, but he started showing these videos where he knows how to protect himself. You put a gun to his head and he'll twist it, and then they started making memes where like, man, if I did that, like, I'll wake up in heaven, and he's like a special trainer dude, whatever. You know who I'm talking about?
I believe so.
But that dude is actually no joke, man. That dude's actually a badass. I guess in Detroit, the police department was getting paid to police the area, and they weren't policing the area. And there was all kinds of crime and all kinds of shit going down, so the people had no choice but to build a community. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of black leaders in the community, they got together and they're like, we don't need the police. They don't fucking come in here anyways. And so they proved it, and they created like this like protection agency, private protection agency or some shit like that. And still to this very day, if I'm not mistaken, defund the police actually happened in Detroit, and the police got defunded and they just, you know, went away. And that guy helped create this thing, and he's a real fucking badass, bro. If I'm not mistaken, he did a thing with Snoop Dogg, but
The people existed before the police. I'm all for us policing ourselves. Now, in times of you know, I I I go to environments, I go to communities where there are no police actively patrol. Looks safe to me. I believe if you're going to have police officers anywhere, again, they need to know the people and what are you here to do. If you're here to lock up all the men, that's not going to help the United States. If you're here to terrorize and scare and threaten people, that's not going to help. I believe at the root of protecting community, it involves people who care about the people. So as I listen to what you say, I know you was talking about him making the memes and stuff, utilizing social media, and you're talking about what was going on in Detroit. Doing for self is essential because, again, before the police existed, the people did. It can be done, and all throughout the United States, there's countless communities that are flourishing without police scare tactics.
Right. We do see that a lot in our videos, man. That one of the things that police do is constantly escalate situations. Escalate a traffic stop into a death.
How do you when I watch your videos, you've mastered it's like a monotone. You position yourself to where your voice is non-threatening, but it's extremely assertive. Do you ever feel like, okay, I can get killed this time? Because
Yeah.
videos
Ultimate.
it's a few videos of yours that I saw. I'm like, oh shit, like, bruh, you know what I
Um.
mean?
Yeah, and this leads us to yeah, it's scary. I will say that in the adrenaline rush, it's every time I jump out of the car to walk up to the cops, the adrenaline rush is always there. It never stops. It's always there.